TikTok on the brink of goodbye, and Mark Zuckerberg on the brink of a MAGA makeover. Tick tock, the countdown has begun. I want to start this episode by talking about TikTok and whether or not it's going to survive if it is not purchased by an American company. Let's hear what Donald Trump has to say.
Is TikTok going to be sold? If it isn't sold, what are you going to do? Are you going to have an influence on this?
Well, they're waiting to see what happens in the Supreme Court, Rob, as you know.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what happens there. That's going to have a big influence on whatever's going to happen. But we'll see. Nobody really knows what that's going to be. And I will make a decision. I must say, I was on TikTok for the election, and I won the young people by 36 points. No Republicans ever won the young people, but we won young people. And I think that's a big credit to TikTok. So I had a very good experience with TikTok.
I know. The app's great. It's who owns it and what they do with the information, I guess, is the scary part, right?
There's a little truth to that, yes.
Yeah.
And there we are. He had a good experience with TikTok. It helped him in the election. That's pretty much what I thought Donald Trump would say. I agree that having TikTok doesn't benefit us in any way. It's a Chinese-owned company. They have access to information that they could use against us. And of course, just the overall argument that social media is a cesspool and is rotting everyone's brains. But I love how the solution is having an American company purchase TikTok. American-owned social media platforms are not the safest space for people either, especially while we have Mark Zuckerberg, owner of Meta, Facebook, Instagram, talking about how our own government was involved in controlling and censoring information on social media.
The claim that, this guy, he was really a free speech guy, which I don't believe for one second. But why did Miranda Devine ask today, why did he stay quiet when the landmark censorship case, Missouri versus Biden, now Murphy versus Missouri, was being heard by the Supreme Court? He only started talking when he was subpoenaed by Congress. This guy is an opportunist.
Yeah, I think he's a puppet, and he's not very self-aware for someone who is a public figure who acts like no one can remember what he said before. And this is the same guy who said that he wasn't censoring anything to admitting that he was censoring things via the American government. It kind of makes sense, though. The pioneer of social media is clueless when it comes to the way he presents himself, right? Like, you don't have to present yourself in any way when it comes to social media, because all you have to do is type and hit send and comment, and you can communicate with emojis, right? But when you actually have to speak and communicate, your body language, your facial expressions come into play. So while he was in a dark room at Harvard University inventing Facebook, or taking all the credit for inventing Facebook, he lacked actual social interactions that would make him more relatable, make him more believable.
I don't trust Zuckerberg. Musk had skin in the game. He came out for free speech when it was really, really controversial. Did this way before the election. Now Trump won. All of a sudden, this guy's on Rogan saying, "Oh, Biden bullied me. I didn't want to do anything." They were hiring guys from the Biden administration to sit on their board and be on their office headquarters to work with the feds to make sure all this stuff got censored.
So we're always being monitored, whether it's by a foreign entity or it's our own country. The idea that making this move will keep Americans safer is a bit of a long shot, because our data is still everywhere. And I know that a threat to national security is not the same as a threat to free speech. If an American-owned company buys TikTok, we basically are just left with the same problems we've always had when it comes to social media. We would have to get rid of all of social media. We would have to get rid of the internet. Everything that we access today has access to us as individuals, as companies, as the government. The accessibility to data is so deep and so entrenched in our everyday life that I don't know how we're ever going to get a handle on any level of privacy that we had prior to the internet. I mean, I remember signing the back of my credit cards as a security measure. I remember ripping up receipts that had my signature on it. That's that's the world that I come from. We are so far beyond someone forging a signature, and now you don't even need an actual credit card. I scoff at the idea of needing a credit card to get something from a store. Just bring a hammer or a bat. There's your modern day credit card right there. All you have to do is walk into a store, smash, grab, and you don't need an ID for that. You're better off without an ID. That's why all the smash and grabbers wear masks. We are so far gone when it comes to security. You have to enter your information into everything all the time online. Financial apps, store apps, game apps, dating apps. We have phones that scan our face as the password. I'm telling you, we are already in the trenches. Our phones listen to our conversations. We get direct marketing for products that are spoken about near a phone. You don't even have to be on your phone and talking about something in order to receive an ad for something you may have mentioned while your phone was near you. We are so far gone when it comes to big tech, big brother, and the accessibility of our own personal data that, removing TikTok to prevent further threat to our national security is like the equivalent of putting Gavin Newsom in charge of preventing wildfires.